Before we get into the content, it's really important that you guys hit that subscribe button. We're out here every single day working for y'all, trying to hit y'all with the best content. And what motivates us to keep going is people like you. So hit the subscribe button, join the conversation, join the Deuce Gang.
What he said. Brought it back. I brought back the bib for this one. You know what I mean? I know the ladies like it, so.
Men lie, women lie.
Bibs don't. Oh man.
Viewing public, do you like the bib?
It's not. It's okay. What it is, it's a sweater, and all I'm wearing is the top piece. That's all it is. It's nothing. It's not actually a bib. Let's just get that out of the way first of all.
It's a hoodie. Now, I want to point this out. If you were there on the insurrection on January 6th and you were wearing that, whether or not you were on video, you would have stuck out like a sore thumb. There was like thousands of people there. So many people got away. If you were rocking that, they would have been like, yeah, I know that guy. We all know that guy. He's the guy who wears the dude. Yeah, he's bib dude. You would have stuck out like a sore thumb, you know. And it's interesting about that day because a lot of Republican senators have described that day as just a walk in the park, you know, just a regular tourist day. A Capitol police officer got their eye gouged out. There's actual video of one of these Capitol police being beaten with an American flag. I don't know why that doesn't get talked about more. They're on government property, right? And not just any government property. Like, they're at the Capitol building. Like, what are we talking about? And a Capitol police officer is being beaten with an American flag. How crazy is that? You know, and the other thing too, with this whole because they're trying to get to the bottom of what really happened, like we don't know. And a lot of the Republicans they're just trying to pass it off like it was no big deal. And of course it was no big deal to them.
I mean, yeah, if you weren't there, then of course it was something that was very important to you. But I mean, if you were the person on the front lines, then obviously this had not just an effect on you that day from the people that were there, but more of a lot. Why are you trying to stop me?
No, because they were there. The Republicans who are trying to pass this off as nothing were actually in the building when it was being attacked.
Right, but they weren't fighting. Well, I mean, I guess they were fighting some of the people that were trying to get into the rooms and stuff like that. But in general, most of those people that were in there weren't the ones trying to stop what was happening from happening, right? So it's a different type of trauma. There's a different type of trauma when you're the victim, when you're the one people are trying to be attacked versus the one who's trying to stop the attack.
Oh, 100%.
Because then you have to deal with both sides of the emotion, right? And a lot of people don't take that into account. And what's crazy is obviously what we're going to be, well, not obviously, but what we're going to be talking about is due to that and the lasting effects of what comes from those type of incidents and stuff like that people don't even think about. And when they talk about it was nothing, they don't account for as well.
Well, the reason why and that's a great point, but the reason why I say that these Republicans, they pass it off as nothing is because the mob wasn't there to mess with them. It's like right. if you have a group of boys or whatever like that, and you know your boys are coming into the spot to tear shit down, you're not worried. They're your people. What are you worried about? In fact, one of the Republican senators said, hey, I wasn't worried at all. But guess what? And I'm paraphrasing here, if it was Black Lives Matter, I would have been scared as shit. And a lot of people took offense to that because a lot of people were looking at it like, oh, if it was black people, it would have been way worse and they would have shot them. No, he was actually one of the only people being honest on the Republican side. He was saying what it was. They weren't here for me. However, if it was Black Lives Matter, yeah, they would have been here for me. I would have been shitting bricks. So I as messed up as your statement was, I applaud your honesty. But, you know, We're go-
Okay. I guess you got. I guess that's just something you wanted to get out of your system about the Republicans.
well, I
You just
mean,
want
well, like,
how you feel.
well, I mean, I'm deeply invested into the whole process since way even before
Yeah,
January
let
6th.
people know where your passion is coming from, because I never knew you were this passionate about
Oh
the
yeah,
whole
I'm I'm
Capitol
I'm
rights.
I'm totally into it, and I want to see the obvious come to fruition. If you have eyes and ears and a functioning brain, you know what started this whole entire thing. I won't dive too deep into that, but the point still stands. Republicans are acting like it's no big deal, as they should, because to them, they were never in any real danger, bro, ever, because they weren't coming there for them. They were coming there for the Democrats. They were coming there for Pelosi. They were coming there for Pence, which is a Republican, but that's another story. Right? So, yes, I would be passing it off like it's no big deal either, because they weren't coming
Right.
for me. But some of these Capitol police officers, yeah, man, they're going through it right now. In fact, how many of them committed suicide because of this?
So let me just get right into this, man. Let's get into this now. So what has happened is there's two more police officers who responded have recently committed suicide, and it was announced on Monday, right? So I say more because, as you heard from this guy, this guy, the total now is four officers who have taken their life. So the first one is Officer Gunther Hashida, right? Who was found deceased in their house on Thursday, July 29th. He was a MPD spokesperson, right? The other officer was Kyle the Freytag. And sorry, I suck at saying names, but I'm just trying to say what's there. And this person was found dead July 10th, according to the public information. And they were also just found in their apartment, deceased, right? And before them, obviously, there was two more. I'm not going to name the two more, just the two ones that are there right now, because why are we going down the list, really, now that I'm thinking about it? But the more important point about this is people are saying, why? Like, why would these officers be committing suicide? Why are they dying? This is something for conspiracy theorists to go crazy with. It's not that deep. It's as simple as these officers, the ones who responded the day of the Capitol riots, people don't understand some of the things that they had to go through to get to a resolution. Some of these people were beaten. Some of them were threatened. Some of them were tied up. Some of them were tortured. There's people who were abused, sexually abused, you know what I mean? And threatened not just that day, but for their life thereafter. Because remember, these officers, and not all of them went in wearing masks. So a lot of these people who raided these Capitol riots, they knew where they lived. They could find out all of those things. And it's crazy to me that the police force has something like this going on. But my question to you, as Black people, do you feel sorry for these officers? Are we allowed to feel sorry for police officers?
Of course. I feel sorry for anyone who goes to their job and then gets abused at their job. So at the end of the day, if a police officer pulls me over and says, I need you to do A, B, and C, well, they're a police officer. They're the authority in the situation. I'm going to comply. So knowing, because that's their job. If I go to a fast food restaurant and they say, Chris, I know we used to take orders in this line, but we're taking orders over there now. I'm going to go over there. That's their job. So this is a Capitol Police or police officers. Their job was to protect that building.
Right.
If the police are saying, do not come in, as a citizen, it is your job to respect that authority. So yes, of course I feel bad for the police officers in this instance. 100%.
You see, the difficult part with this for me is that I know that there are officers like this on the force, right? The reason why I asked you that question and asked it in a way where we as Black people have to look at something like this, like, are we allowed to feel bad at police officers, is because when people do things before, like the thing like the defund the police, or where solutions are just to totally eradicate the entire system of the police force or whatever, thinking that'll cause a solution. I bring up instances like this where there are good officers who are out there who are doing good on the force as well. And those people are totally ignored. right? Which is why I never see those things as solutions. These officers and their deaths illustrates a different side of the police force that I think people don't want to pay attention to, because the other side is more important. The side of there are officers who are human, who are fighting for the right reasons. Unfortunately, we live in a world of negativity. So what you're going to hear more of is the officers who are doing bad, especially when it's going to get you more views or sell more newspapers. People have to understand how the media works and not play into the puppetry that sometimes they try to get you to fall into by pushing certain narratives in your face. You know what I mean? And the reason I bring this up is because I had a conversation with one of my friends about this, and before I sent it to you, we were talking about it. That's how I knew about it. And he didn't care. He's like, I don't care about those cops. Good. I wish I was there to beat them down. Cops are no good, bro. They no good. I don't care who they were. Da 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 da. You think they were trying to protect us? They went to the White House to protect the white people. This is what he's saying to me. That type of ignorance to me, that type of mentality to me is dangerous. I don't know. How do you feel?
When I go into a fast food restaurant, I don't want to hop behind a counter and make my burger myself. They're there to make my burger. To the point, police are there to serve and protect you. Now, you may have not had any experience in your life with police where it benefited you at the end of that interaction. And that's fine. And that could jade how you view things as well as what you see on TV, reading the paper, so on and so forth. But cops are there for you. They're necessary. They're just not perfect. Right? So and I'm a believer in eye for an eye. I am. But I can't be happy that a cop got his eye gouged out, or these cops are committing suicide because of trauma, or so on and so forth. You can go down the list. I can't be happy about that because, George Floyd happened. I can't, like, this is here, like, these are two separate things. You understand what I'm saying? Right. They're two separate things. Like, for instance, and this is going to sound messed up, but for instance, like, if in the heat of the moment, when George Floyd, or you go down the list, Sandra Bland, so on and so forth, in the heat of the moment, if somebody who was of the same color as one of those unarmed victims said, you know what, cop, you know what you just did? You just took one of mine. Now I'm going to take yours. Blow. I would be okay with that. Crazy as that sounds, I will be okay with that. Heat of the moment, you took one of mine, I'm taking yours. Blow. But these two, they don't connect. They're two totally separate things. These cops had, for all we know, I don't know, but these cops had nothing to do with, like, whatever stemmed, the many issues that stemmed BLM. They're Capitol riot police officers. What are we talking about?
Right.
Not all cops are the same. Like, not all black people are the same. Like, not all white people are the same. Like, not all Christians are the same, and so on and so forth. What are we talking about?
I mean, for this one, I feel we can leave it up to the public, because there's people that agree with the way that, because I was with a few people and they agreed with what he was saying. You know what I mean? That is where we've gotten the mentality of people right now because of all the violence that we've seen. So, I mean, I would love to start a conversation about this, man. Deuce Gang. It's your turn, man. We're going to leave it up to you. We're going to see how you feel about it. Please drop a comment. Please like. Please subscribe. You know what I mean? This guy wants to save all the cops in the world. He says all the cops in the world are worth saving. And why are we being so mean to them? They did some bad things, but who cares? How do you feel about it? Let us know, man. Deuce Gang.
I hope that whoever's watching this is intelligent enough to know that's not what I said. But I appreciate the fact that you tried to do that, because I do it to you all the time. But anyways,
I was paraphrasing. Of
course you were.
Yo, thanks for watching that video, making it all the way to the end. You made it this far. You have to like. Please subscribe and comment on the video as well. Join the conversation.
Absolutely. We finally hit our goal of 500 subscribers. Yes,
Yes,
we are
sir.
trying to get to 1,000, and we can only
Woo!
do that with your help. You can start by watching that next video. You see that tiny little icon? Click on that icon, rinse and repeat. Deuces.
Yes.